Hello, everybody. Right. Hello, everyone. Oh, I've got Leo fluff on my face. It's not a good idea to put lip gloss on, then to go and brush your cat who wants to have kisses. I've got it all up my nose. Fluff everywhere. Hello. Oh, God. Right, if you can hear me, let me know. Hi, Carly. Hi, Hope. Hi, Tina. Hello. Hi, Jennifer. Hi, everyone. Right, where's the comments? Where can I see the comments? Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever time zone you're in. I have been doing my beautiful feedback calls today, and I've spoken to Central, Pacific, and Australia. So I've been all over the globe today talking with people. So whilst we're just waiting for everybody else to join, just to say that the option to have a feedback call with me is still open. They'll be closing on Friday the 26th of May. So if you haven't already had one, please book one in. I am looking to talk to sensitive people, to empaths, to people that really feel that there's an emotional connection between themselves and their cat. And I would love to get your perspective and your feedback on this new program that I'm creating. Heal your heart to help your cat. So if you haven't already booked a call, please do so. I would love to hear from you. Hi, Heather. Hi, David. Let me find the link and I can pop it in the chat because I can do that here. So book feedback call with me. Instagram, you can find it on the link in my bio. So let's get started. Oh, what's that doing? Okay. So lovely to have you here. Thank you to those of you that are here with me and that have booked the calls. It's been really lovely to connect with everybody and to understand how your relationships are with your cat, because me and my boys, or my boys and I, sometimes you can get a bit tunnel focus, a bit narrow focus. So it's lovely to hear how you all interact with your cat. So thank you to everybody. So that's enough of me rambling on. What else have I got to say before we get started? Hang on. So we've dribbled. We've got Soul Circle next week, which is actually, funnily enough, building on the course. And it's about communicating with your cat. So Soul Circle classes are free and you need to book a ticket. So we do it all via Zoom. So you need to book a ticket. Hi, Heather and Bailey. To get your space, to get the Zoom information. Let me pop that here too. So that's next Wednesday at 7:30 UK time. I've still not got all the fluff. I think that's everything. Okay, so let's get started. Tonight we are doing a chakra cleanse session, and I am sharing with you all about Thomas, who is a beautiful tuxedo white and black fluffy boy. And his guardian came to me. Let me find her intake form. So the intention that was set for Thomas was by his guardian, Suzanne. I think it's Suzanne. Yes. Suzanne said that her intention for Thomas was for him to feel more settled and for her to understand what he needs, which I think is truly beautiful because it's something for the cat and also something for the human, which I think is lovely. So the issue that she came to me for help with is because he was scratching the couch, which is the sofa in the UK, which Suzanne thought was related to something. She said he seems out of sorts, not as happy as sometimes. She's had another cat called Oscar, and she said she would see the two of them together, but not as much as they used to. And she's wondering if Thomas kind of feels out of the loop a little bit, and kind of wants to know what's going on with him, basically. So when I connected with Thomas, hang on a second, let me get my notes ready. As soon as I connected with Thomas, he gave me the color orange and he showed that he needed sacral support. So we used a piece of carnelian crystal, and as soon as I got the crystal, because there's a box, if you can see behind me here, that floral type box there. That's got, I don't know, maybe 70 crystals in, all in different bags, all kind of separated. So as soon as I picked up a piece of carnelian and held it in my hand for him, he said, "Oh, that feels better," and had a lovely deep breath, a beautiful energy release. So to start off with, I knew it was going to be a powerful session because he wanted to work with crystals. So, crystals have got such an intense vibration, particularly for cats, that I knew that he was going to need it to shift. So he shared with me his sacral, which was swollen and overactive. Now, the sacral chakra in cats, oh, excuse me. Oh, I thought I was going to sneeze. Energy shift my own. The sacral chakra in cats is their sense of identity. So it's the sense of uniqueness. It's the unique essence of the being. So, like, how can I explain it? If you looked into my sacral chakra, you would see a fiery person, but also loving and determined, and I would like to think kind, all of the things, the bits and pieces that make up the individual are in that sacral space. It's what makes the being, cat or human, unique. Okay. So if the sacral chakra is in any way, underactive or overactive, it means that the cat can't be themselves. And, that's not what we want, is it? We want our cats to be happy, healthy, and well. So the reason that I find that fascinating is because we come on to that in a minute as to why Thomas felt that way. So he says, "She is diminishing me. Our relationship fractured. I'm trying to help her release. She is resistant. Her heart is healing, but at times she is scared. And that's okay. Understandable, but not necessary." Oh, Thomas, excuse me. "When she is brave, lets go of the pain, she will heal. I am helping. She needs to let me. Her heart is ready to evolve, to expand. It's now, Mum. You have to let it. You will be safe. You will be seen, and that's okay. Your light is ready to emerge. Let it. Your soul ready to align. Let it. Our connection to blossom. Let it. Lean into the surrender, and we will both elevate into more joy, more happiness. Let me be me so you can be you." Her energy is stuck at her throat. She can't speak the words she needs to. The words to help her heal. The words to heal her heart. I can do more. We are at an impasse. Oh, I can't do more, sorry. We are at an impasse. She needs to choose. Let me help her heal, be brave and evolve, or stick in the heavy. Keep hold of the pain. I know she can feel freedom from suffering. If she can release, surrender, and be brave. I weep for her. He means like on a soul level. She looks at us. She needs to look within. And then he said to me, I need more, which was more help with his sacral chakra. So, oh my God. Excuse me, Thomas. So we used sacral, orange fabric on my sacral chakra. And he had a really, really big release. And then he had an energy shift. So the release is that this is going to be weird, but I'll be honest about how things happen. So I put the sacral, the orange fabric on my sacral chakra. We sat together for a few moments. He's on my screen. I then went to spend a penny, had a wee, and had the biggest wee ever. And it was not in comparison to how much fluid I drunk that morning. It was a huge energy release for him. I then came back and connected with him, and there was this massive sense of hunger. So I went and ate some orange food. So I ate 2 carrots from the fridge. Now, for the skeptics out there, yes, you could just say that that's just me and my body. But before I start a chakra cleanse, I am in the zone. I don't need to have anything to eat. I've had my breakfast. I've got a squash ready in case I need to have a sip. But like I am here for the cat. I am present and all about the cat. And whatever happens in that time, that's their energy. That's to do with them. So then we put the crystal carnelian on to the fabric. Okay. And it was like layered, it was the fabric and the crystal. And then he had a really big yawn and a lovely energy release again. Hence all the yawning. Oh, God. Sorry. Right. Okay. God. Total mess tonight. He said, I can feel her heart is hurting. He felt a lot of sadness. I know she can step into the light. And he gave me the word strength. I will be by her side. And he gave me the word courage. She can shift. She can shed. And he gave me the word bravery. But she can't stay where she is. So I said to him, are you ready to heal? And he said, please. So I asked him where to start. Where did he say? Of course, the sacral chakra. Okay, hang on. Right, so let me go into this. So this is his chakra cleanse. So the cat in the middle and the chakras around the outside. So we started with the sacral and it felt very, very warm, which means from my experience, it was overactive. It was actually pulsing and moving so fast, which occasionally makes him feel sick. And the excess energy in the sacral overflows into his solar plexus. So we used an orange essential oil and I took some really deep breaths. Bear in mind, I've still got the crystal and the fabric on my sacral chakra. So it's orange, orange, orange. And I'd eaten a carrot. And then I unfolded the fabric and actually used it so it was more over my body and came up over my solar plexus. And we also used a calendula flower with orange essential oil on. That's right, I remember now. I ended up having the calendula flower in my hand and the crystal in my hand. The orange essential oil was on the calendula head in my hand. All of those things were on my sacral chakra. And basically, it was just loads of deep breaths, loads of release. And he shared that he'd been holding pain and sadness in this chakra. So what happened a bit later, which I've just seen from the notes, is that basically he was really fidgety. And after every chakra, we'd get so far, we'd work on one chakra, then he'd need a break, which basically meant he needed time to process the energy shift. So I would work on a chakra and then I'd be really distracted. Like I couldn't do an energy work. So like, I'd go and feed the boys, put the washing on, and come back. And again, that's not my norm because when I'm here, I'm with the cat, I'm with their essence, I'm with their energy. But for him, it was almost like he needed a break from the healing. And actually, the sacral was throbbing at every chakra. So the fact that he'd mentioned about his sacral energy going up into the solar plexus, this is why energy balancing is important. And it's like you can have a chakra cleanse with me and it will help. It will help to heal the cat. It will give them a sense of balance. I can basically kind of get things back in alignment, but it's not going to fix them, because energy is like water. It flows constantly. And what we need to be aware of is, how do we maintain that for them? How do we keep the energy flowing for them? Watch this space for the new cat chakra book coming soon, when you'll be able to learn all about how to do that for yourself. So if you haven't pre-ordered it, get to the website naturallycats.co.uk and pre-order your book now. She says, for a shameless plug. But that's one of the reasons why I wrote the book. That's one of the reasons why I'm doing this program, because I want you guys to be able to do this. I want you to be able to feel your cat's energy and to work with them. Anyway, I digress. So where did we go next? Where's number 2? Okay, so we went from the sacral. We didn't go up to the solar plexus. We went from the sacral. We went back down to the root. And it was bigger, but more recently it had been quite small. Oh yes, that's right. He was feeling unsure of what was around him. So he'd been scratching a lot at the sofa, and the guardian had been doing different things to deter him and stop him doing it. So in Thomas's world, he was doing a perfectly normal cat behavior, and the reactions that he was getting, the interactions and the kind of reinforcement, he didn't understand what was going on. Like, he didn't understand why that was. So when that happens, that's when cats can feel unsafe in their environment. So for example, like if baby Max started to scratch at the corner of the bed in the morning, like, I might want to shout at him. I might throw a pillow at him. Like, I haven't done these things, but when you do that kind of stuff to like shut the cat up, they don't understand because they're doing a normal cat behavior. Okay. So what happens, it diminishes their energy. So if we were having a conversation one-to-one, and all of a sudden, like, I was mid-flow and you just went like that and put your hand up to me and like stopped me talking, or got up and walked away, I'd be like, oh, okay, well, I'm just, communicating. It diminishes your energy. And this is how chakras become imbalanced and unbalanced. And this is how our energy gets affected. So he wasn't quite sure about what was going on in the house with him with the scratching. So there was tightness in the flow of his energy. And he said, she needs to let go, to shift, to see. Her heart is so big for others, but she won't open it for herself. Our light, he meant him and the other cat in the home, will thrive once she feels brave. And then I think it's Leo. Hey, buddy. I think Leo's just come in. Then I put my hands on my root to bring the chakra back into balance. And as soon as I was holding it there and giving it healing, he said, thank you, that feels more aligned. And then it felt pulsing. So what we're able to do is, through him sharing his words, and by this point I still had all the orange and everything on me. We were still, the sacral chakra was still all there. And we were able to shift his energy. So then we went up to the throat by the looks of it. So we skipped the solar plexus and the heart. Yeah, we went a bit up and down like this, really. So he said to me, food. And hello. Hey, buddy. You come say hello. I can hear somebody with a dependent on their collar tinkling on the landing. I want to know who it is. So basically, he didn't feel very nourished by the food that he was being given. So I spoke to Suzanne about what she was feeding, and we gave a couple of options as to how she could make some changes for him. And he said her throat is kept small by others. So I won't go into personal details, but when I spoke to Suzanne, she was talking about, having support with her energy and her chakra. And she said she laughed. I remember her laughing. She couldn't believe that Thomas had picked up on it, and picked up on the fact that she needed support here, and that she needed work and help, and that she had a blocked throat chakra because she'd been told that by a human practitioner. He said, so his sacral started throbbing when we were at his throat. So what he shared is that the throat and the sacral for Suzanne were also connected. So when she releases her blockages, he said he will like burst open. I am so deeply connected to her. I've tried to show her, to share with her. Now she will see. Now she will hear me. Big release and sigh. So what he was saying was, Suzanne had actually, this was a couple of months ago, Suzanne had an imbalance in her sacral chakra about being clear about her identity and speaking her truth and speaking for herself. And that's exactly what he'd picked up on. What is with the words tonight? For goodness sake. I've been talking to people all day. So he was sharing that his sacral and his throat are connected because her sacral and her throat are connected. And when she shifts her energy, his will shift. And he gave the image of like it bursting open, like the floodgates kind of opening and all this energy just moving more around him. No. don't know who it is. Okay. Oh, and he also shared here at the throat about having a piece of rainbow fabric. So I don't generally recommend rainbow fabric because it can be really high in vibration. You know, it can be really, there's a lot of frequencies going on in a rainbow fabric, you know, and it's all at different energy points. So I recommend to people, you know, you get separate pieces of coloured fabric, and then if your cat needs to balance a chakra, they can go and work on that particular chakra. So I only really recommend rainbow fabric if the cat has asked for it, and sometimes they need it because everything's so out of alignment that they need that to anchor. I'll never forget Boris. It's blue tacked on my thing. Boris, when we did energy insights one time, he said that he needed rainbow fabric because when his guardians left, he would pace. So I said, I feel like his energy is really unsettled, like he can't sit still. And his guardian said, we've got a video camera and he paces when we leave the room and leave the house. And I said, he asked for rainbow fabric. And this was the picture that I got sent, of him upside down, stretched out, still absolutely loving it. So I only recommend rainbow fabric if that's what the cat needs, but that's what he said. And he showed that it would be like a charging point for energy. So we went from the throat up to the solar plexus, and the energy had moved from his sacral up to his solar plexus. So we used orange calcite crystal to remove the excess energy. And there was like a bit of a yowl from him as we released the emotion that was in there. And he said that he has been a parent to Suzanne in another life, and it's heartbreaking for him to see and feel her hurting. He said, I know she can be brave. I know she can heal. I am right beside her. And then his energy shifted, and it felt our connection felt completely different. It felt like I was talking to a parent. It was very, very supportive. And he gave, I forgot this. I don't know what is going on downstairs. He gave me his soul name, which was methalazole. Yeah. So I've been asked this a couple of times about cats and their soul names. I don't ask for them. Cats, I just write down, I receive what they want to share. I give the cat a voice. That's it. I ask questions if the guardians ask questions, if it's a communication session. Other than that, I literally just kind of download onto paper what comes through from the cat. So it was beautiful that he was able to share that. And I think it was really comforting to Suzanne when she realized that she'd been with Thomas before. So if you watch my lessons from Leo that I did this Tuesday just gone, what date would that have been? The 9th, he shared, which blew my mind, that he was my dad in a previous life and baby Max has been my little brother. Just, it fascinates me, this stuff. So Thomas shared that. So then we went to the heart, and he said, I am shedding for her. And he meant energy. Now, what are you two doing? They're chasing each other. It's like the bewitching hour in this house. He said, now she needs to be brave so I can heal. Right. Forgive yourself. Acknowledge your pain and embrace it. Do not run from it. It is part of who you are, how it makes you special. And now it is time to shift it, to release it, give it back. It is not yours to hold. Heal, sweet girl. I am by your side, always. I've had a couple of cats say that, I am by your side. I just find it so lovely that they're kind of reassuring in a way. And you can tell like he's switched here into this parental space, heal, sweet girl. That's very, very different to the kind of tone that he talked about before. And I think it's beautiful that he is being so open and honest with Suzanne about how she can help him, which a lot of cats do that. One of the best ways we can help them is to help ourselves. Again, that's part of what the program's about, understanding how our energy feels to them. Like I shared to you about Leo, as soon as I shifted my emotional state, which means basically identify it, accept it, deal with it, he cleared 3 plates of food. It's fascinating to me how much we impact them without even trying to. And as much as I do it, and I know I've spoken to several people and clients, those of you in the community, say that, I try not to let them know how I feel. I try not to let them see me cry, or I try not to let them, know what's going on. Like, it doesn't matter, peeps. Like, they feel it anyway. Like, it's just like your heartbeat. You may not know it's there, but it's there. They know it's there. Cats know how you feel. Okay, so then what did we do? Oh, I've just realised I missed a bit for the sacral chakra. I didn't realise it went to the second bit. So back to the sacral quickly. He said, I've been trying to help her see her sacral is the size of a pea. Pea, like small. He's been trying to help balance her chakra too. She needs to speak and then she will shift. We can be balanced together. We can thrive. She needs to make a change. And then he felt calmer and had a smile on his face. So more of the same. He is reiterating at every chakra, this is what you need to do, mum. This is what I need from you. This is how you can help us both. And it's all about her, her energy, her emotions. And actually what we did, I've never done this before. He brought his third eye and crown chakra together. So we did it as one. And I'll tell you the reason for that in just a second. He said, I know my purpose. I know why I'm here. I have more patience again now. I feel our soul connection again. It was lost. We had disconnected. But I feel her now. I will continue to help her see. She needs to release. She can heal. I am with her. She needs to do the work now. Believe, trust, surrender, grow. And then his chakras felt brighter after he shared those words, and much, much brighter since he'd had the kind of heart awareness of understanding why he was with her. We had the crystal, the herb, and the essential oil still on his sacral. And then we sent light all throughout his aura, and we healed the couple of dense spots that he had. And he had roots that went straight down into the earth. So I think... yeah. So the reason that he brought the crown eye, oh my God, I need a nap. The reason that he brought the third eye and crown together is because it was almost like the shift of the rest of the body, the physical body. He then moved into the kind of the spiritual, the energetics of it. So like the third eye is about the soul contract for the cat with the human, like why are they with us? So like, in Leo's third eye, it's to do with helping me to lean into surrender and learn that lesson. Different for every cat, different for every human. The crown is where they're connected to spirits, whether you want to say God, universe, angels, beings of light, whatever modality you believe in or religion, it's where they're connected to the bigger picture, high def blue. So where he talks about, we went from the sacral down to the solar plexus, up to the throat. He went to the most important ones. The sacral was the most important one to start with. Then it was connected to the root. So we kind of went to that bit because that's where he felt unsettled. Then we went straight up to the throat because he's like, that's where she's got a blockage. She needs to shift it. And then from the throat, we went down to where there was the excess of emotions. He was very clear all the way through. It wasn't just like, let's work through the chakras one by one. He was like, no, this one needs attention. Then this one needs attention. This one needs work. This one needs balancing, which is lovely to have a cat that's so directive in terms of, I need you to help me here. And what he shared about Suzanne frequently is that she needs to work on herself and accept what's going on with Thomas and almost reconnect, as he said here about I feel our soul connection again. She said to me in the intake form, for Thomas to feel more settled and for me to understand what he needs. He's been a lot more on guard and skittish recently, not sure why. So sorry. So it's almost like they leaned in again to their connection, and Suzanne said that she felt she understood him more and she felt more connected with him. So it was lovely to see that from her hearing his words and understanding what he was asking her to do, she felt more comfortable in the journey that she was on. So she said to me that she was having support with her emotional state and her energy, and to hear that her cat had also said to her, you also need to do this, was really encouraging. So when I asked her to do the feedback form, she said, I asked what was the best part of working with Naturally Cat. She said, I had no idea that the messages I would hear from him would be so much about my journey, my experiences, my stuckness. I was amazed how my healing was tied to his. I was so excited to hear what he needed from me and how connected we are. Truly a wonderful experience. I also like the actions I needed to do for Thomas so he could feel better energetically. So I said, what changes have you noticed with the relationship with your cat? She said, we are closer. I speak to him more about things from the session and reassurance. He's always aware of where I am. He was before, but now it feels better. I think part of that is that I'm much more aware. So there were a couple of actions in amongst the chakra cleanse, a couple of crystals, bits and pieces, and I haven't kind of gone into those details, but it's important that, you guys hear the words that are said, because the practical actions and things are a bonus, things that you can do and put into place, brilliant. But sometimes there is so much healing from hearing the words and having that connection. And then the last words that Thomas gave, he said, the more she shifts, the more I will heal. When she releases, I will shine. I am by her side, always. We knew each other once, and now we will again. I am always by her side. How beautiful is that? How beautiful. So there we go. That's Thomas's chakra cleanse. And I did have an email from Suzanne. I think it was 24, maybe 48 hours after we did the cleanse. Because that feedback form she did a few days later. And she said to me that he was using the post more rather than the sofa, which is what he had been doing, and that he'd started to play with the other cat. So, that was what she'd wanted. That was what she was missing. That's what she was worried about. And that's what she did. That's what we got. So we managed to help Thomas to feel more settled, to shift his energy, and to reestablish his connection with his guardian, which, in my world, is pretty damn good for a couple of hours working with the cat and their human. So I hope you've all enjoyed hearing about Thomas's chakra cleanse. Next week, we've got Monkey. He is a beautiful, beautiful boy. And he was really interesting. His guardian came to me because they brought a new cat into the home, and there were expectations, I think, and thoughts about how Monkey was adapting to that. The answers from Monkey are fascinating. So join me next week at 8:00 if you want to hear about Monkey's story with his new sister, Minnie. And don't forget, if you are highly sensitive or empathic, I'd love to book a call with you to chat with you about my new program to get your feedback, helping your healing your heart so you can help your cat. I'd love to get some perspective from you all if it's something that that you'd be interested in. I want to help as many people as I can, and in order to do that, I need to understand how you guys are getting on with your cats, what kind of relationship you have, and how I can help you. So I popped the link in the Facebook and YouTube chat, and you can find it in the link in my bio Instagram. Has anybody got any questions about Thomas's chakra cleanse before I wrap us up? Thomas was such a very wise boy, David. I agree. Okie dokie. Brilliant. Well, thank you everybody for joining me here tonight. I'm going to go and find out what on earth has been going on with these two boys. I came downstairs from a call earlier to find there were 3 big floofs of fluff, which was totally baby Max's fluff because there was grey on the end. So I don't know what on earth's been going on. They've obviously been having a bit of a day of it. So I hope you enjoy the rest of your day, afternoon, and evening, wherever you are. Thank you to everybody who has completed a feedback call so far. Thank you to everybody who's been here live with me. I hope you've enjoyed hearing about Thomas. And if you're interested in booking a chakra cleanse for your cat, head to my website, www.naturallycats.co.uk, and check out the services. And I look forward to seeing you all, if not at Soul Circle on Wednesday, next Thursday for Monkey and Minnie. Take care, everybody. Have a good day. Bye for now.